Before he took office, President Trump said there could be some exceptions to his campaign promise to pardon January 6th rioters. In the end, there were none, not even for at least 169 who pleaded guilty to assaulting police officers.
Everyone was pardoned, and those in prison were released. Jim Axelrod has a story of a woman who is now living in fear.
When Donald Trump freed hundreds of people convicted for their roles on January 6th, Chantel Holton's fears turned back to this man.
I'm just afraid that I'm going to come home from work one night and he's going to be right there. He's going to be right there sitting on my porch.
His name is Peter Schwartz, and a jury convicted him of assaulting police officers on January 6th. That's him with pepper spray and a baton.
He found an opportunity to go and be violent.
On January 6th?
Yes.
Holton, a factory worker who doesn't want to reveal where she's living, dated Schwartz back in 2019. That's when she says Schwartz beat her.
That man thrives on violence. He thrives on people fearing him.
In Holton's case, Schwartz was charged after making threats to kill her. One of 38 prior criminal convictions, including assaulting and threatening police, he racked up prior to January 6th. With that rap sheet, Schwartz received one of the harshest sentences of any of the Capitol rioters, more than 14 years in prison.
This was something that let you exhale.
Oh, absolutely. It was a huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
And that's why this supporter of Donald Trump,
You voted for him
3 times.
is not happy with the president's decision to release everyone who took part in January 6th from prison.
And what I did was a great thing for humanity. They were treated very, very unfairly.
Most of those people should have been allowed to go home, but not people like Pete.
The idea of pardoning people who had criminal histories, violent histories, it's a really poor choice if you're thinking about public safety going forward.
Former federal prosecutor Jason Manning worked on roughly 50 of the 1,500 cases relating to January 6th.
There were a lot of folks who had no criminal history. There were a lot of other defendants, however, who had extensive history of domestic abuse, histories of assaulting police officers, for whom assaulting the police on January 6th was not the first time they'd assaulted police.
And all of these people were in the pool of people released from prison just a couple of weeks ago.
Every single one of them.
Since the mass release, one parolee was shot and killed in a confrontation with police in Indiana. Another will head to trial for rape later this year.
So the people who were just pardoned for violent offenses are now returning to their communities under no supervision whatsoever.
We made repeated efforts to reach Peter Schwartz.
A lot of us that were Jan 6ers were actually innocent.
He's been vocal on right-wing media, proclaiming his innocence and citing an appeals court decision as proof, though that ruling reversed only one of his 11 convictions and none of the assault verdicts.
Come look for me.
As for Chantel Holton, she's watching Peter Schwartz's publicity tour. Online donors have given this self-proclaimed J6 political prisoner nearly $90,000.
So, Jim, what did the White House have to say about the Peter Schwartz case?
Well, we did ask the White House directly if they had reviewed Peter Schwartz's case before issuing the pardon, and they wouldn't answer that question directly, saying only generally that President Trump campaigned on a promise to pardon J6 protesters and that he delivered on that promise.
Makes you wonder how many other Peter Schwartzes are out there or like him out there.
Well, Jason Manning, the prosecutor who we spoke with, says 170 other defendants were convicted of assaulting police officers, 100 of those convicted of assaulting police officers with a weapon.
Why did Chantel come and talk to you, Jim?
John, I think that is the most fascinating part of this story. She didn't want to talk to us. We asked repeatedly because she believed what she was told, what people like J.D. Vance said, that if you were committing violence on January 6th, you shouldn't be pardoned. It was only after the mass pardons, when she was so angry, so furious, she said, yes, I want to sit down and tell my story. Again, a 3-time voter for Donald Trump.